Well, good afternoon, everybody. It's 2 o'clock Eastern, and we are excited to be bringing you our 10th Town Hall, Tuesday Town Hall with FunSpot. Again, my name is Scott Benjamin. I oversee sales and marketing for our organization, and we've been excited to bring these town halls to you, and have had great feedback. So we are, I believe, butting up against an IATP webinar that they scheduled at the same time. So we'll have all this recorded and available in the future, and go from there. So this information is being recorded. So again, appreciate each of you being here. Over the course of the last 9 weeks leading up to now, one of the biggest topics that we have discussed and had conversations around is the whole idea of what to do with our foam pits. We know in at least one state, parks have not been able to open up their foam pits and are having to pivot and decide how they're going to address that with airbags or some other solutions. So we've talked about it quite a bit. FunSpot has done a good bit of research and really landed on partnering with BigAirBag. And so we've invited Jake and Tomas to come on and talk with us really about all things airbag, really kind of give a high level view of what it means to install an airbag into a park, retrofit it into a foam pit, talk about the benefits of doing so, and then really be here just to answer your questions. So we've got Jake and Tomas up there in the top corner, and just want to kind of kick it over to you. Welcome, guys. Thanks for taking the time to be with us this afternoon. By the way, it is 8 o'clock over there in the Netherlands for them, so appreciate you guys staying up late in the office.
Yeah, if you see any of us kind of sleeping a little bit, it's a little bit later for us, but thanks for the introduction, Scott. Like I said, my name is Jake. I'm the Chief Operating Officer in the US region. And
my name is Thomas, and thanks for having us here. I'm the CEO at BigAirBag, and as Scott already mentioned, we're just sitting here in Amsterdam, and very curious what we can share on information about airbags today.
Yeah, great. So one of the biggest questions that we have is how what's required in a pit. So a number of these parks have foam cubes in them. So maybe you can give us kind of what the process is of, engaging FunSpot and, how we work together to provide an airbag for a customer.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the first steps is obviously getting in touch with us, and part of selling an airbag is a full consultation. I mean, you really need to walk very closely with the customer through, getting the right length, the right width, the right depth measurements, and all kind of understanding, how high you want the big airbag from the pit floor, and kind of looking into different steps to make sure that, when we do produce and manufacture a big airbag that is delivered correctly into the pit, fits nicely in an aesthetic way, but also from an operations and a safety perspective, it's important to definitely ask the right questions. So.
Yeah, maybe you could give us, and before I do that, I do want to say this is a very interactive forum, always has been, and have appreciated the feedback from those that are attending. So, if you have a question, feel free to use the chat feature at the bottom of your screen, and Al will kind of monitor those and kick in those questions as they come in. But Jake and Tomas, maybe you could just start off a little bit here by talking about your product and what differentiates the big airbag from other bags that are on the market.
Yeah, sure. I mean, we've been working. BigAirBag has been here since 2005. It all started off with a kind of crazy Dutch guy who was really into kind of snowboarding. He had a little bit of money in his pocket, but he basically was breaking a lot of bones. He was hurting himself a lot. So he basically had this crazy idea to create this kind of airbag product. And he took it to the north of Holland, where they've got a lot of ship builders and manufacturers who make sails. presented this idea and he said, can you guys make this happen? And they made it happen, and he didn't really turn it into a business at all, but he used to bring it to kind of ski resorts, music festivals, things like this. And it kept, you know, it kept on being asked to come back and back and back. And then that's kind of when, you know, for a few different circumstances, Thomas then took over the company. And he really decided to concentrate on quality and innovation and kind of constantly pushing the industry to make it better as a whole. So he actually decided to set up his own manufacturing company. So we're actually the only airbag supplier in the world with our own manufacturing company right now, which is in Holland. But we do also have offices in San Diego, and we've got a service point in Grand Rapids as well, where we hold some stock. And then obviously with the relationship with FunSpot now, we're really dominating with guys on the ground, which is fantastic. So having the factory, especially for someone like me, who's not necessarily the most technical minded, it's great to kind of finish the day, go downstairs into the factory, you know, understand what really goes into this product, you know, the testing, the innovation, the burning of materials, the ripping of materials. We're a young, kind of vibrant company that are always interested to kind of see, you know, how we can improve. One thing we did invest in, I think about a year ago, was this new machine called the Smasher. And for us kind of guys, it was really exciting. We kind of on a Friday, you know, we're cracking open a beer and we get to imitate what it's like to have 20,000 jumpers hitting our product and try to understand, you know, the longevity and what really is, you know, the different materials that we should be using and the different elements of the BigAirBag. So we're sitting there, we can imitate how many jumpers are landing onto this BigAirBag, what's happening to the materials over time. And through this kind of extensive years of testing, research and development, we've now come up with our new kind of smart foam pit BigAirBag model, which is now rapidly becoming the preferred alternative to loose foam pits, as it basically increases the hygiene, the safety and the throughput in your trampoline park. So we're seeing a lot of consultations and quotes coming in from gymnastics facilities. And we're also seeing a lot of inquiries coming in for the trampoline parks, especially as the emphasis moves forward on hygiene. So I think, you know, from a BigAirBag point of view, we really don't cut corners when it comes to the quality. All of our materials are sourced from Mailer, which is a company in Germany, and we build them in by hand in our factory here. And Thomas is definitely the brains around the innovations and how we've got to where we are today. And we work very hard to now be sitting on this kind of Zoom call and working with great companies like FunSpot and so many more in the trampoline park industry. So yeah, thank you very much for having us on. We're excited to tell you more.
No, thank you. You hit 3 points, and that being hygiene, safety, and throughput. And, you know, as we as an industry consider foam, which has been a mainstay of a trampoline and an adventure park, and what kids love about it versus what operators and parents may or may not love about it, it's a really nice time to begin to look at airbags, especially from as an operator from a throughput standpoint. It just doesn't take someone as long to get out of an airbag as it does to struggle out of a foam pit. And there's some really nice options to give kids that aren't foam, you know, maybe some vinyl wrapped foam shapes and things like that give them that same kind of play environment where they like to build with foam blocks. So I think the timing of all this is really good for what's happening. Hygiene, especially, you know, key to what we're talking about. It's one thing to think about cleaning an antifungal, antimicrobial airbag top versus, you know, a foam pit with, you know, 20,000 cubes in it and being foam. So there's that. So you know, the inquiries are great. I'm going to ask a couple questions here, or let Al ask them, and then I've got some for you to lead you.
Yeah, we have a couple questions. Two of them go right together. Kat asks, some pits are 5 feet AFF. Can you do an airbag this tall? And then Luis follows that up with, what would you recommend the minimum safe height if you're starting a pit from scratch?
Exactly that. 5 feet is a really good depth. It's enough space for a redundancy bed. Our big airbag has a redundancy bed at the bottom, which is constantly inflated, and it basically removes the possibility of ever hitting the ground. And then, 5 feet really gives them that nice impact absorption, whether you're putting it next to a free fall, a drop, or a zip line or something like this. So that's really a good depth if you can choose that. But obviously, as a manufacturer, we can alter or change the depths accordingly. So we do get some very different inquiries, and I think if we're starting to talk about the depth, it's important to understand how you would like it to look in the park. So some people prefer to have it maybe 10 centimeters above the pit floor, and this actually gives the kids in the park just that extra confidence to kind of walk off. So that's stepping off. So coming back to the throughput. If you want it to be nice and fast, sometimes we explain it like a little bit of a sausage factory, just getting them in and out. And, if you've got the big airbag about 10 centimeters higher than the pit floor, they can exit easier. So we never recommend to put the big airbag underneath the floor, so they have to step up. But obviously at floor level or 10 centimeters higher is perfect.
Just half a feet.
Yeah, half a feet.
Yeah, 3 or 4 inches. So the airbags are custom, right? They're all, we do measurements based on the frame size, based on the wall that's in an existing pit. We work together with Jake and Tomas and their team to measure that out and manufacture it according to the specs for that specific pit. So this isn't a factory where we're buying a bunch of 10 foot by 10 foot airbags that are all 5 foot deep, custom made.
Oh, absolutely, and I think it's really important that you find your big airbag consultant or your fun spot consultant, and you walk through the necessary steps together. So we'll be asking questions like how much foam padding is in your current pit if you're just replacing a loose foam pit already. You need to take that into consideration when you're giving the dimensions over. Some photos, some park layout kind of images for us is fantastic. So we can then kind of decide blower positions and work really closely on use. So the steps that we kind of go through is we will always send over a technical drawing. That technical drawing will have, the dimensions on, the blower positions, what kind of tubes we'll be using, the depth of the bag, but also your design. Your design is important. And that will all be signed off before we start production.
Great. Now there are other questions. Ahmed asked, what would you recommend? Totally changing the foam pit to an airbag, or just covering it with an airbag sheet?
Yeah, so it's a good question. We've had that before as well. We definitely recommend replacing the loose foam pit with a big airbag. We have done a study and tried to see, and we've witnessed people who've tried to put sheets over the foam. And it doesn't work. We've tested that, and somebody actually got injured the first day, their foot. So it's a nice, quick solution, but it's not going to be regulated by the ASTM guidelines. It's not going to meet the criteria from a safety concept. You're kind of really dodging. You're compressing the foam, and you're not really getting a full understanding or that full safe impact absorption that you would on a big airbag. So we've chosen against supplying this based on our professional opinion.
Great.
Yeah. Fun spot taking that same stance as far as providing an airbag cover over foam. It diminishes your visual ability to see where the divots and pits are in the foam, and it's just not biometrically tested enough to be able to provide a solid answer that would meet ASTM requirements. So while we understand that there are people that will provide a cover, it's not something we as a manufacturer would recommend for any of our parks that we've built. And again, that's in line with Big Airbag's stance as well.
Great. So Luis asked, do our friends at Big Airbag have an introduction video? Like, do you have a...
I mean, Big Airbag is an exciting company that works in different kind of industries. So please go on our YouTube and go and have a look at the first unassisted backflip on a car, to going to watch hundreds of kids jumping into our foam pit Big Airbag, to seeing a adventure park with somebody sliding down in a tube and landing into our freestyle bag. So
we had
definitely have a lot of options there.
We had Discovery Channel walking through our factory to film the process of how a big airbag is made. So that might be a nice one.
Yeah.
I'll link a video. I'll go through your YouTube and link a video to the email tomorrow for everybody. So I'll make sure everybody gets a video of you guys. Also, what's your lead time for airbag products?
4 weeks. 4 weeks once we got all of the information. That's kind of a standard that we work on. When I say when we've got all the information, it means when we confirm the blower positions, the technical drawings, etc., but also the design. I mean, one of the services that we offer is we have in-house designers. So we like to get creative. We can offer UV, black light options, interactive kind of top sheets with, for instance, you've got the swings and you can try and reach the numbers on the top sheet. We use the same dye supplementation process as you see on professional cycling clothing. So you're never going to see the color kind of wearing away. It's a professional printed look. And it comes out in HD, and we can either create that kind of galaxy or lava feel, if you like, or in the past we've also done sharks' mouths wide open with the big teeth, kind of for the kids to jump in. So your imagination is the limitation.
But also without all the excitement, we can confirm on those specs within a day. So if you would really want to place an order today, then it's 4 weeks.
Okay. And what should the lining of the pit be?
Yeah, so we have our recommendations. We would always tell the park operator to refer to the most up-to-date ASTM guidelines and also to check the state regulations around it, and definitely BigAirBag or FunSpot can help you with that. We normally say on the pit floor you would need around 4 to 6 inches of closed cell foam. And then on the pit walls, you would need around 1 to 2 inches of foam. And then the pit edge, we would recommend 4 to 6 again. So it's important that when you purchased a BigAirBag, you can put the pit floor and the pit walls already prior to installation. But in order for us to come in, install the BigAirBag properly, you have to put the foam pit edge, the pit edging padding on after the installation. So we can walk you through all of that, and I think it comes on to one of the most important parts of a BigAirBag is that included in every quote, we do an on-site installation and a full operations and safety training to you, your team, and everybody around the trampoline park. And we can follow up with videos and footage for you to constantly retrain your park operators or the people who are, supervising. We do understand that operators and they have a staff retention or a fast turnover. So we want to be that professional consultation service that provides the constant training for you to make sure that you get the most out of your BigAirBag and the longevity, of course, in a safe way.
That's great. Thank you so much. Scott, I'm not sure if this question should be pointed at you, but Jake and Tomas might know. Do the airbags meet the Pennsylvania ride and measurement standards? That question's from Carolyn Brown.
Hey, Carolyn, thanks for asking that. It's our understanding that the airbags from BigAirBag would meet any requirements that the state of Pennsylvania would have. We would obviously work directly with the ride inspectors if we were to have the opportunity to work with you on a project like that. Happy to talk with you offline about that.
And also, so there's two questions back to back, so these kind of go together. Aaron King asked, what is the recommended cleaning and long-term maintenance, and how intensive is installation? And then there's a follow-up question from Harry Carruthers that is a little bit different, but very much same. This is a question for FunSpot and other companies on the call. What insurance provider, how are you cleaning your airbags, and what cleaning supplies and times do you use to do during an operation? So I guess cleaning supplies first. What is recommended cleaning and long-term maintenance for the BigAirBag?
So Jake, why don't you talk about your top cover and the properties of the top cover, and then what other cleaning, kind of what you would recommend as cleaning throughout the day?
So our satin top sheet is a modular part of the BigAirBag. You can take it on or off. So some trampoline parks have a special top sheet for their UV black light nights once a week, and some parks have just their standard logo on it, so they can replace it. And that really makes it easy for your cleaning. So included in our base fabrics, but also our satin material, are antiviral additives. I can send you a link on this where you can read a lot more about it, but it's basically a proven additive that kills 99.9% of the human coronavirus. In terms of cleaning, I again have a PDF which has all of our kind of recommendations on cleaning a BigAirBag and how to do it. But it's basically hot soapy water. You can do this on the top sheet itself. We've had some clients that can take off the top sheet and give it into a professional to clean, but it's a very easy and relatively simple process. And of course, as we all know, a lot easier than cleaning a foam pit. So I got all of that information for you, and anybody can reach out to me or Thomas or Scott, and that information will be passed on.
And if you want to send it to me, I can put it in the email, the follow-up email tomorrow as well. So that's not a problem at all.
Yeah. And the installation's about a day. It's a day with to install one airbag and do the training.
We have a professional installer. He's got one of the best jobs in the world, we think. He travels from Dubai one day to California the next day, and he's one of our experts, and he can install 3 BigAirBags in a day, no problem. And obviously now with joining forces with Funspot and our guys that we've got on the ground already in the US, this is a very relatively simple job. And I think one of the other questions was the maintenance. In terms of what we recommend for a BigAirBag is it takes around 30 minutes of maintenance a month. And that basically is just some visual checks to make sure everything is okay. Go underneath the BigAirBag to try and see the blower, make sure the blower is okay. We understand that sometimes parts get a bit dusty, so it's important to just make sure your blower is working properly and there's no dust around the kind of fan. And all of our products are supplied with a digital pressure manometer. And this is perfect from an operations and a safety point of view, because you can plug this in, check the pressure in the system, and you can kind of compare that to the recommendations that we give you on site. So there's lots of different ways to do it, but 30 minutes a month is no problem. And like we said, compared to cleaning a loose foam pit, I'm sure some of you all have experienced that nice job. Thankfully we haven't yet, but it can take a little bit longer, I've heard.
What is the lifetime of the bags?
Yeah, so it's a good question. We've released our new smart BigAirBag model about a year and a half ago, and to date we've not had a problem with it. We basically recommend that it's going to be 4 to 8 years, and that's taking into consideration you've got 20,000 jumpers a month jumping on it. Now the BigAirBag has replaceable parts, so we're actually, we're very excited and think that can be extended as well. In terms of bags that we've had in trampoline parks since when was it, 2014, something like those. We've had them in there for years with no problems. Sometimes they change the top sheet just to change the design or the look and feel.
Mm-hmm. All right, awesome. And Harry Carruthers was the one that asked about the insurance and everything, and Charlie Holderness followed up with, I can tell you from an insurance standpoint, most carriers want to see alarms on the bags to alert for collapse, but then there are not going to be insurance requirements above and beyond the standard cleaning requirements. So about the alarms, is there anything that they might need to know about that?
Yeah, definitely. You're probably all familiar with the watchdog alarms. They're the kind of ones that a lot of people are using. We didn't really like them. We thought we can produce something better. Basically, the watchdog alarm just has a audio signal, and we've actually created and engineered what we call our BigAirBag blower alarm system. It's a two-way system. It not only measures if there's a problem with the blower, but also if there's a problem with the power supply from the wall. And it has an audio and a visual signal. And quite excitingly, we've just kind of teamed up and we've just released our new pressure measurement system as well with traffic light sensors. This is a really exciting thing for BigAirBag and a key innovation that we are, understanding that this will be the industry standard in the future. So we're exclusively offering this, and it basically, can connect up to the local Wi-Fi. You can track the pressure in the system over a period of time. And from a insurance and liability issue, it's compliant with all the regulations. It makes operations a lot smoother, and the traffic light system, signals green if you when the pressure in the BigAirBag is adequate for jumping, and it signals red if you need to wait or there's something wrong. So this new system that we've just released in the market is incredibly exciting, and we're very proud of what we've created. I think.
Yeah, it's an amazing system, and it's done because of customer requests. But I think summarizing this story, there are three options, like from a simple watchdog to our blower alarm system, and optionally supplied with constant pressure monitoring.
Yeah. So we think this is going to be the industry standard, and as the emphasis is also on safety, we want to show the world that we're setting the standards higher, and also to make sure that the airbag industry as a whole is helping towards the safety of parks.
That's great. How often do you suggest that people clean with everything that's going on with COVID and whatnot? Harry asked as well.
Yeah, it's a hard question to answer, to be honest. It's everything depends eventually on the traffic, and I guess the same question can be asked for trampoline beds. It doesn't make sense to start cleaning your airbag while the trampoline beds or trampoline bedding around the beds are not. So it should definitely be done in the same structured sequence. The top sheet obviously is treated with the antiviral, so it technically cleans itself and can be washed additionally. So the consensus here in the Netherlands, where almost all of the parks have reopened already, is that the top sheet cleans itself. The skirt is more easy to wipe off, and will therefore be wiped in the same sequence with the pads and the beds. But yeah, I'm not sure if there's any industry supplier that can already determine one standard for the process or the amount of cleaning that has to be done. So we're kind of also hoping to get a little bit of feedback from your side and maybe also from FunSpot in that regards.
I think we've manufactured the BigAirBag to make it a very easy product to clean, and with the antiviral additive as well, then we can provide all the tools to make sure that you keep your park as safe and clean as possible.
I know that some parks in the past town halls have said that they are taking shifts of like every hour and kind of cleaning during this. Do you think that could damage the bag if you're cleaning that often, or do you suggest that or suggest against that?
No, it would be perfect. The more often you can do it, the better. I mean, the BigAirBag is usually a very popular element in the park, so it's definitely a high traffic area.
Okay, and that kind of leads into our next question. Aaron King asked, what kind of feedback have you received from kids with regards to the quote unquote fun level of the airbags compared to foam?
I mean, kids love both, but kids, the feedback we're getting from the foam to BigAirBag is, we've done top sheets which make it look like a kid is standing and looking out of an airplane, for instance. The possibilities are endless to make it as fun as you like. And we've done UV top sheets which look like lava. So when you're having a gladiator battle beam fight and you're looking down and you can see kind of like bubbling lava, it's an exciting element. And obviously the BigAirBag, one of the main kind of positives for it is it's suitable for simultaneous landings. So, kids can jump all over it, exit, jump again. And that's what I think the emphasis is on, is kids who jump into foam. How long does it take for you to get out of a foam pit? 40 seconds maybe if you're jumping in head first. And with a BigAirBag, you can exit in, up to 10 seconds max. And that throughput allows the kids to have a lot more kind of enjoyment and excitement. And coming back to kids do like to pick the foam and throw it at each other. We understand that, but from a perspective of the adults, adults want it to be clean. They want hygienic places for their kids to kind of play in, and they don't want kids coming out of it. Some gymnastics facilities, for instance, coughing after going inside the trampoline park. So hopefully that answers the question.
I would agree, Jake. And from a design standpoint, as a manufacturer, we're looking at, I think like I started off with it, how, a kid doesn't miss what they don't know wasn't there, right? So if they walk into a park that now only has airbags, they're gonna have a good time. And we're looking at providing other elements that give them that similar build and play experience that they would get with foam. Especially when you look at your toddler times, your smaller kid times, where they love to build up, 6 stories high blocks and run through it into a foam pit. Well, now they have an airbag, but they've also got these other shapes and things that they can crawl through and stack on top of each other and begin to crash through. So you almost get a both and experience when you combine it that way.
And we're dealing with inquiries right now where trampoline parks are not, previously, maybe a few years ago, they were requesting just one BigAirBag. And we're dealing with trampoline parks that are requesting 4 or 5. And, from an operations point of view, if you can do the return on investment or the calculation in your head, how long does it take you to clean 5 loose foam pits? How many man hours go into cleaning the loose foam pits? How many, how much extra foam do you need to purchase at the end of the year when it's compressed? Taking into consideration all of these points, we genuinely say that you can see a return on investment in a BigAirBag in a year to a year and a half maximum. And with the longevity of a BigAirBag, it's definitely becoming the preferred alternative.
Mm-hmm.
That's great. Thank you so much. Ahmed Sabri says, using the electric sprayer often during the day. It sounds like he's using that. Could that possibly harm the top sheet at all?
It depends what he's spraying on it. So we recommend a really mild detergent. If he wants us to check in on the material on the cleaning agent he's using, then please.
Yeah. If you want to put that in the comments, Ahmed, I'll be glad to pose that as well. Also, Luis asked, is the airbag blower energy consumption significant? And what about the noise of the blower?
Yeah, so that's why we've got our factory here. We've been testing loads of different samples. We use a low noise air mover, that's what we call it. It's designed specifically for gymnastics facilities that don't like the loud noise of a blower because they normally do teaching or training courses. In a trampoline park, it doesn't matter as much because the kids are already screaming, the music's on, and hopefully people are having fun. But we use a low noise air mover, which I think the decibel range is something like 69, and that basically is like a conversation in the background or something. Put it in the comments and I can update you on that. But that's basically the blower that we provide. In terms of the consumption, how I always like to say it, it's like keeping your hairdryer on for the whole day, $2 to $3 a day, for instance.
Okay, great. What would be the key aspect to switch on a BigAirBag after it has been out of operation for almost 3 months?
Can you repeat the question again? Sorry.
Abood asked, what would be the key aspect to switch on a BigAirBag after it has been out of operation for almost 3 months?
Just plug in the electricity.
So just that cut and dry. Yeah.
Okay. Measure the pressure.
Okay. Yeah. So if you have any more follow up on that, just feel free to put that in the comments. We also, Scott, do we want to talk about the financing options that we are offering?
Yeah, no, that's great. I mean, we've chosen to work with BigAirBag. We believe we with them have worked hard to sharpen our pencils and offer competitive pricing, and then have come together to offer financing. So, we have 12, 18, and 24-month options with 50% down. So, would love to talk to any of you that would be interested in helping, get that airbag in sooner rather than later. We've also produced an ROI document based on replacing just one of several possible foam pits in your park that would show how really it will have a 12 to 18 month return on investment, because you wouldn't be buying any new foam in the next 12 to 18 months. So some really good possibilities. We think this meets the needs of the hygiene, of the cleanliness of our current environment, and we believe this will change the direction of how parks are built in the future. So we want to be on the front edge of that. We want to partner with those that are innovating. The BigAirBag safety features, the dual system is fantastic. It really gives the confidence that an operator needs to know that there's safety, not just if the power were to go off to the plug to the blower, but that if the blower itself were to malfunction, even with power to it, there's going to be an alert to that. And then to be able to monitor your pressure and get understanding of where your pressure is at any given time. All just fantastic cutting edge stuff, long-term in the industry, quality products that they manufacture with. So been a very good partner to be working with.
Thanks, Scott.
Yeah, thank you very much. So Kat Garrison asked, can an airbag installation retrofit for a foam pit be done around a waterfall style trampoline or supports for a ninja course?
Yeah, very good question. Part of our consultation at the start, we asked you these kind of questions. Our BigAirbags can be customed. We just finished one for the Ninja Warrior in Germany, and it's a big donut shape with a hole in the middle. It's a fantastic example of the production techniques that we can do. In terms of waterfall trampolines, what we would do is we would custom build the perimeter skirt, and we'd send it to you prior to installation and to attach it with a local seamstress or something. And that's a very easy thing to do.
Great. So, we always, for the last this is our 10th episode. So thanks everybody for being here for 10 episodes. This is fantastic. It's been so much fun. But we've been talking about, cleaning and things like that, and people's needs, and, what the market's going to look like and things of that nature. And airbags have come up quite a bit as a replacement for foam because of the cleanliness of airbags over foam and things of that nature. So we just want everybody to know that's why we are bringing this to you. That's why we're bringing everything that we're doing today with BigAirBag. We brought the best of our company and the best company we could find to bring this to you guys. So we are so excited to be able to answer the questions. So if you guys have questions about airbags, please send them forward. But if you have questions about anything else, please send those forward as well. Scott, we were talking about, in the email, we're talking about giving away a prize.
Yeah.
So do you want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, so Al's basically taken the names of everyone in here, and we'll put it through a randomizer, and just to say thanks for being a part of our town halls. We'll have a $100 Amazon gift card that we'll be giving out here at the end of the show, and we'll announce the winner in the email tomorrow. So just wait to get everybody.
Be the winner as well.
What's that?
And the guest speakers be the winner.
I can't cook the books. I'm going to put it in a randomizer.
Yeah. We just want to say thanks to those. I mean, we have vendor partners on this call. We have park operators. We have parks that FunSpot built, and we have parks that FunSpot hasn't had a hand in at all yet. And we just want to say thanks for being here. So, Harry, you did ask a question about insurance providers, and a couple of weeks ago we did have on 2 representatives from Haas Wilkerson. If you look in our episodes on townhall.funspot.com, you'll see where they spoke. If you look on the IATP website, they also have some other recommended insurance providers out there as well.
I think from an insurance perspective from our side as well, we've got full operations manuals, safety certificates, fire retardancy certificates, REACH compliance for our different materials, where they're from, and that these are key details that you should be checking out for when you're purchasing an airbag. So we've got all of that information and can help you submit it as well.
Mm-hmm. Which goes back to that question earlier about the state of Pennsylvania. I mean, we're well aware of manufacturing and installing in the state of Pennsylvania, in New Jersey, and Colorado, and other more regulated states. So we're familiar with the players and the people that are in place in those spots. So happy to participate in getting an airbag into some of those locations.
Great. Does anybody else have any other questions? That's all the questions right now.
Yeah, we like to give you guys, top of the hour time back. And so what I think I'll do is Jake and Thomas, give you guys a couple of minutes just to kind of wrap up today. And then what we have done the last 3 or 4 weeks is just kind of hung out. So if anybody wants to hang out, unmute themselves. We've just had some kind of post town hall conversation, unmuted. So happy to hang out and do that again this afternoon. But I just kind of want to talk, kind of wrap up what we talked about today and give it a pitch.
Thank you very much for inviting us on this call. It's great to meet everybody, and although we've got funny accents, we are in the US a lot, so I hope we get to shake all of your hands soon. And I think it's an important point for us to mention is you're always welcome at our manufacturing company in Amsterdam. We have a lot of fun over here, and come and visit. Just give me a call. We'll pick you up from the airport. It's 15 minutes away. We'll show you around what goes into it, and you can really see the differences between, an inflatable and what a big airbag is. A big airbag is a serious, tool. It's a serious safety part of the park, and there's a lot of research and development that goes into it. So if you are about to make a decision on potentially replacing multiple bits, fly over, come and meet us, come and understand what it's like. And we've got a few surprises at the office that we always do for the customers to come. Come and find out what happens, but expect to be jumping from the roof. So we're all into that. So please feel free to get in contact with us. You can meet us on LinkedIn, phone, or with Scott, and we'll be happy to answer any more questions.
Yeah, so in our follow-up email that goes out tomorrow with the recording, it'll have all the contact information for Jake and Tomas, as well as my information to get in touch with if you'd like to have a quote for a swap out of home into an airbag. And so happy to do that. But Jake and Tomas, thanks for taking the time again. Thanks for being up late and sharing with us about airbags. Big, important opportunity for us as an industry. So look forward to speaking with some of you here hopefully this week about how we can help you out with that.
Yeah, thank you, Scott. Thanks for the kind words, and congratulations on the 10th episodes. Hands down for being generous. I think it's really a good position that your guys are filling up, sharing a lot of information, and being useful is also generous. And we are very honored to be part of this today. Our
great.
company has a focus on quality, safety, and also the service point of view is very important for us. So please do keep that in mind. And if anyone is willing to reach out to us or directly to FunSpot, then you're always very welcome to.
Yeah, no, that's great. And so you'll have to read the email tomorrow to find out who won. So that'll keep you looking in your inbox tomorrow. I'd say usually around lunchtime Eastern time is when we get the video all rendered down and sent back out. So keep an eye out for that. We'll look forward to giving out that $100 Amazon gift card. And then next week we have a couple of guys from iTeam, which is a cleaning group. We sent them out to a trampoline park in Colorado and asked them to come up with some solutions around how to more easily clean a trampoline park. And so we'll have Patrick here with us to talk about that, and again, just to share some best practices with the group here in order to make your lives a little easier. So again, we appreciate each of you. Al and I will stick around, Jake and Tomas as well. If you want to unmute yourself and ask some questions, we'll hang out for another 10 or 12 minutes. So other than that, we hope you have a great Tuesday afternoon. We know many of you are opening up, so we wish you much success as you welcome people back into your parks and start to serve your guests. So we're here for you, and we look forward to seeing you next Tuesday.